Hello, greetings. This is Gilles Mansillon. I want to wish you a good day. I wanted to make a little note. I'm going to discuss a couple of ideas, but I want to say anybody that wish to acquire any of my paintings or artworks, it's a good time for it because I'm about to start a huge, very big project, and so I believe it will be it's a good time. It's a good investment. If I never buy a piece of art that you do not like just for investment. You have to always buy art that uplift your soul and connect inside with you. And so this project will be it's going to be about the initiation of a planetary renaissance, a new birth of something, an art that will lead humanity to a new level of unity, a unity consciousness, and an appreciation. So I wanted to discuss the idea that you are the creator of your own universe, for we have this collective soul agreement where we share that reality with other souls, but yet everything is one and one is all. So just as the galaxy has billions of star systems, you have billions of cells within yourself, and there is all kinds of very subtle and complex energy within the physical body. There is essentially 5 energies that is known through the science of acupuncture, which is water, fire, earth, metal and wood, and those energies with the 5 visceras, they need to gather at the center. Once they gather at the center, everything is calm, everything is fluid, and the energy flows. But we're going to discover amazing world of energy in this microcosm that is a whole universe. And once we align all those physical energy, we enlighten our physical body, for the light is doing its own work. Let the light work for you. Then we'll ignite the light body, and we'll come to the realization that we are the creator of the whole universe. We ourselves, because it cannot be any other way, for we have children of God, but we also are the creator. From your creator standpoint, all of humanity is your children. From your lower self, it's your brothers and sisters, but from your higher self, it is your children. And so you become one with the source, one with the creator, for that's kind of a radical sort, but it is this principle of the law of one, and you realize you were the creator of this nearly infinite universe. For a very long time, astronomers were only seeing the stars within our own local galaxy, and at some point, I think it was Kepler or Hubble that discovered there were many other galaxies. So it is huge, it is beyond our wildest imagination. And you are the creator of it all. Not only this universe is huge, but it is multi-dimensional. What we see is only the physical aspect, the third dimension. For we'll come to realize scientifically that we live in a sub-universe that's a matrix of 12 dimensions. We will come to realize the 13th dimension being a bridge, understanding from the 5th dimension, the point of eternal connection to source, to the 15th dimension is crystalline dimension. Then we move into celestial, more advanced realm. And so our solar system holds 33 dimensions of reality. When we look at the galactic center holds the 100th dimension, that's called the cosmic level. And then there are higher dimensions on the cosmic level, and then eventually we move into the celestial realm. We move into on the 172nd dimension, we have the court of the Most High, the constellation Father. The 300th dimension is the dimension of the Mother, the great Mother of our local universe, the Sophia. For it is Saint Sophie today here in France. We have this every day is a saint, and today is Saint Sophia. So we send greetings to all the Sophie and all the great Sophia, the great mother of all, which was the prime creator of our own local universe. And then we we'll eventually embrace all the 352 dimensions of the creator universe, our local universe. For there are 3 kinds of matter. There is physical matter, that is what made of atoms and particles. There are morantial matter, that is all the spheres that we ascend through in the local universe. And then there are spiritual matter, that is above and on paradise. There is all 3 matter: physical, morantial, and spiritual. Although here we also have that here, but it's essentially mostly material, where on paradise it's mostly spiritual matter. And so then we move, once we graduate from our local universe, we traverse and ascend through all the spheres of pre-spiritual spheres of our super universe. We eventually graduate from all those schools, where we eventually eliminate all the animal nature within ourselves and become more spiritual. Then we graduate, and then once we graduate the super universe, we move it through the central universe, the eternal universe of ultimate perfection that was created by God as a model for all local universe, but it's not an evolutionary universe. And so we pass through all the 7 circuits, the 1 billion, we have 1 billion incarnations through those many wonderful, amazing worlds, and we'll emerge as an eternal being on paradise. It is as if when we leave the super universe and start our journey through the central universe, it is as if we fell asleep and we move into a different kind of dream. It's the last and final dream before we awaken as an eternal spirit on paradise, at which point we'll never have to sleep again. But if we were to be transported on paradise as we are now, we would not see anything, we would not be sensitive enough to see all those things, and we still be a temporal being in an eternal reality. So passing through the central universe is part of our destiny, our future destiny, will give us the proper training to emerge as an eternal being on paradise, and then we'll be sent into mission in other super universes as mighty messengers. And so I wanted to say there is 2 essential, we live in a 12-dimensional matrix. For the root base of that matrix is the home, the 0 point, the 0 dimension. It is the origin of the universe. It is from which everything emerged from eternally, and is eternally reformed at a speed that is beyond our wildest dream. So this home is the 0 point. Once we discover that 0 point from a scientific perspective, we'll have access to unlimited energy, and we'll discover the portal of the soul, which is the portal of immortality. We'll know scientifically that we can never die. So there is great. The extraterrestrials will assist in this connection, but we do have to do the inner works as well. And so from the 0 point emerge the first dimension. It is the elemental dimension of precious metals, of exotic metals, and all the cellular function. And all the mineral, and then we merge into the second dimension, which is we move from the cell to the organs and to the complex systems, animals, plants that exist, and there's elementals in all those dimensions. And then we move into the third dimension, that is where humanity resides, is the world of senses. We believe the physical reality is true, that the ego recognizes as the truth, the reality, that is the physical dimension. And then we have the fourth dimension, which is a much larger dimension that encompasses all dreams, all desires. It's all the possibilities for manifestation. So there is all kinds of reality that converge and oppose themselves, and eventually emerge into the third dimension that goes down. So it's all the dreams and possibilities and desires. For emotions are fourth dimensional, when the consciousness of the physical is third dimension. And on the fourth dimension, the higher, each dimension has 7 levels and sub-levels, and there are 7 sub-levels to each level. For we do not yet we don't have the technology to decipher all that, the level of wisdom and consciousness of beings, but we'll develop that in time. And so in this fourth dimension, there is on the lowest plane of the fourth dimension, there is what we call hell, all the darkest nightmare. And then on the top of the fourth dimension is what the most beautiful dreams, the paradise of religion, the highest vision of eternal existence. And there are mystery schools that are located from the midpoint of the fourth dimension all the way to the top, where we go. Usually we go after death. We continue this evolution through the astral plane. They're like parallel universe. It's very vast, the fourth dimension. And then we reach eventually the apex of that evolutionary cycle. We move into reality, the nirvana, the fifth dimension, where we feel the eternal connection to our creator, and love and joy becomes the dominant reality. We eventually will be fully integrated within the fifth dimension, and then we ascend through the fifth dimension. We'll eventually open the portal of the sixth dimension. But first we need to be really anchored within our life, because if we move into the sixth dimension without anchoring our sovereignty in the light, when we move into the harmonic flow of the sixth dimension, which is very different, we might be lost in illusions, or collective or individual illusions. So we need to have this light very, very strongly anchored. It's the sixth dimension has the same function to the fifth dimension as the fourth has to the third. It's like a potential, a reservoir of energy that will And eventually we traverse that and we move into the seventh dimension, which is the effect of individualized ascending consciousness from material plane. It is the dimension of the ascended master, is where from the place which the heartbeat is being guided, and so we no longer are in the flow of the harmonic light of the sixth dimension. We become the eye of God, anchored in the physical, some physical and semi-spiritual reality, in the service of all life. Then we ascend through the seventh dimension, we open the portal of infinity, and we move into the eighth dimension. It is where we meet our soul family. It is the we become collective being, we become one with collectiveness and higher self, and it is from there that the soul plans are being drawn and designed, and then we ascend through the eighth and we move into the ninth dimension. From the ninth dimension we can verify that the soul plans are aligned with the divine will of God. And then there's the 10th dimension, which is a brilliant dimension of light, which is a great central sun, the unification, where the source, and then 11th and 12th are refinement of those energies, and eventually we pass through the bridge and 13th dimension. And so even in this solar system, there are right now 13 octaves of reality. So it is all. It is essential to understand that contemporary humanity do not understand that quite clearly yet, but there are matter and antimatter that emerge from the 0 point all the time. It is the matter and antimatter that can never meet. You can never find them. It's not like in Star Trek, you can use antimatter in matter. I don't see that happening at all. But antimatter, in essence, you have antimatter, you have matter, which is physical, your physicalness, your physical body, and then you have antimatter, which is love or fear. Antimatter, this positive antimatter that is love, and negative antimatter that is fear. It is what sponsors every thought, every words, every action is either sponsored by love or fear. So seek to always fuel your energy with love, this positive antimatter, and this antimatter, the antimatter universe is very vast. And it is what creates the manifestation. God lives in both matter and antimatter, but essentially it works through the antimatter in order to bring the new all the time. And so those may be a bit radical thought, but I thought I bring them about to say that you are the creator of the whole universe. You cannot be anything else but the one. And from your lower self, the humanity is your brothers and sisters, but from the higher self, they are your children. So just treat them, and even treat yourself, your physical body, as if it was a little baby. For we are being really called to assist our physical body in being totally taken care of, this physical reality, to come in a state of health and peace, inner peace. I'm going to pull a few cards with the Archangel Tarot. So the situation, the highest wisdom is justice, the Archangel Raguel. Fight for justice and equality. Judgment in your favor. Do not give up. So it's about bringing this alignment. The song I'm going to sing is about human and justice, actually. But so it's about asking God to bring justice and balance in things, so that the truth may be known and everybody can find its place within the process. What we need to understand is the wheel, is the miracle, is the Archangel Jeremiel. He says, a new beginning. You are arriving at a turn. Change of direction in order to access happiness. So happiness is right before us. There is amazing things that are right before us. So understand that and trust the wheel. Turn with the wheel. What we need to do is the Lady of Raphael. Gentle, understanding, generous, and intellectual. Do what your heart tells you to do. Love of home and family. Trustworthy information that are given through the intellect. So trust what is given to you. Follow your highest vision, and the outcome. We'll return to this card. Is the 9 of Gabriel. It's a very fast progress. It says, be ready to be self-determined and move forward. Be ready for anything. Environmental activism. So expect miracles and be ready to receive all kinds of new opportunity every day. There could be amazing opportunities where it's our soul that is aligning with us, with that. And so I want to say the extraterrestrials have been around and on the earth for a very long time, but they cannot show themselves. But soon, for now, the contact is through telepathy or channeling. We can communicate. They can communicate with us through channeling, and we can communicate back with them through telepathy, for they are receptive to our telepathy. but and on the astral plane. But soon they will be able to make physical contact. It's going to be very different. Also, when it said the more we are still, the more we can keep our energies still, to keep it still, the faster cells go. The more we expand energy in action, the less energy we have to manifest through our intention. And so it is for manifestation purpose. The idea is to start to make your magic work, to believe in your miracles. You can work with small things that are easy to believe, and then you can move into greater things, greater manifestations through this trust and faith that spirit can bring you instantaneously what you ask for a very long time. To an example, when I first came to France, I knew that whenever I was going somewhere with my father, who used to drive, and I knew that it was always going to be a parking space right in front of the place we were going, and my father was very impressed because it never failed. So the place was there for me to park in front of where I was going, or somebody was just leaving at the time I was arriving. But that was easy for me to believe. I hadn't had the same belief in relationship to winning the Powerball or anything like that. Yet now I know that it's just the same to make big miracles, to believe to believe in the power to manifest wealth and abundance is the same thing as to manifest a parking space, or to find a white feather or something. You can practice to ask spirit and receive it, and so it builds your trust, and you can move on to bigger miracle. Practice your magic, your ability to manifest. For in essence, what we do, we're always revisiting the past, always revisiting our own personal history or the history of mankind. And it's always going on. Or we're projecting dreams and desires into the future. And so for that, we have this love and fear. It's like antimatter to fuel our future with love, and to not fuel fear, and to put fears into our future, for that is what is used in the media to control the world. But we want to disconnect to all that and create our own future. They have no power over us unless we give them our power, and so we become more we become more sovereign. We're going to become sovereign, and so utilize our dream and desire. Yet eventually we're going to see that there's only the present, and present is the now moment. Is really the time of creation. It is where we create. Well, I hope this message was interesting for you. I'm going to pull one more card. The paintings behind me, this is a painting I'm still working on. It's a painting of Lady Venus, the goddess of Venus. She's looking at the earth. She's got a symbol of Venus here. Her crown, her hair maybe still some things to work, and the stars maybe behind, but it's already very, there's a lot of wonderful energy in that painting. And this is a tree of life, a tree of wisdom. I made it for Christmas on a recycled canvas. And so it looks a bit like a Christmas tree, but it's also a tree of life, and it says hope, courage, patience, gentleness, compassion, truthfulness, goodness, wisdom, compassion, kindness, peace, freedom, joy, and happiness. So it's all those things to remind yourself, those are your fruits, what you need to be reminded of, your true nature. And then there is the great I am presence, symbolized by the stars the star on top of the tree. Well, I was singing a song yesterday. I was doing my jogging, and this song went through my mind. I have no clue why. It's an old song, and it's a symbolism of all those who are suffered injustice of the unjust action of human justice. It's based on a very old story from the 1920s, or two Italian American, Nicola Sacco and Bartolomeo Franzetti, were accused and they were sentenced to death and put to death, and then we realized they were innocent. And so this song was made by Ennio Morricone and Joan Baez, and it went through my mind, so I thought I'd sing it today. It goes like this. Here's to you, Nicola and Bart. Rest forever here in our hearts. The last and final moment is yours. That agony is your triumph. Here's to you, Nicola and Bart. Rest forever here in our hearts. The last and final moment is yours. That agony is your triumph. Here's to you, Nicola and Bart. Rest forever here in our hearts. The last and final moment is yours. That agony is your triumph. Here's to you, Nicola and Bart. Rest forever here in our hearts. The last and final moment is yours. That agony is your triumph. Here's to you, Nicola and Bart. Rest forever here in our hearts. The last and final moment is yours. That agony is your triumph. It's a great song. It's an old story. It was a movie also made about this story. But in essence, at the end, we only have to answer to ourselves and to God. So the justice of man may not always be fair, but the divine justice is always right. For God is omniscient and never. And so it's about understanding that all of this, we have to leave the past in the past in order to move into a future and envision a flowing, harmonious and graceful reality that are conducted by the angels and commanded from on high, from the constellation farther, where we move into a world that a world of peace, grace, and abundance, and we want to create that for ourselves already, and imagine the whole world being free from all their fears and negative memories and all systems of oppression and all abuse and all brutality, all violence. And the situation, the card of the day is nothing short of the card of the angels. For the angels are with us and we call on them and they will be assisting us. They are divine beings of light and love. They're everywhere. They're not limited to any dimension. And we have our own personal guardian angels that's always there, always with us. So do call on her, call on him. I thank you very much. I wish you a wonderful day and I'll talk to you later. Namaste.